The most unusual aspect of Amsterdam that's noticed by visitors today is the bicycle. That's right, the bicycle. Bicycles fucking everywhere.
You can see me in the streets, I'm a shifty creep, cause I'm a seat sniffer. Sniffing on a seat, cause my nose goes close when you're riding to battle. Now you know why I'm sniffing on a bicycle saddle. You can see me in the streets, I'm a shifty creep, cause I'm a seat sniffer. Sniffing on a seat, there was never better pleasure than the smell of sweaty leather. Now the weather's getting heavier, the smell is getting better.
It's an alien concept to most foreigners who are used to cities being clogged with perpetual traffic, with millions of cars spewing millions of tons of millions of chemicals, leading to millions of premature deaths. But that's the sign of a healthy Western city. I hear you howl as your smog-filled lungs struggle to overcome the incessant drone of never-ending engines terrorizing the streets of your town. Well, the Netherlands is proof that it doesn't have to be that way.
If the bicycle scheme is whimsical and crazy, Provos say it's better than jamming streets made for horses and carts with cars and lorries.
Cities should be built for people, not automobiles. And in this chapter, we're going to learn about the futuristic visions of the Provo movement to take back the streets with the Witte Fiets, the white bicycle plan. This is chapter 4 of the Shite Guide to Provo.
There goes the neighborhood, here come the Provos. Working for the man is a no-no. Staying on the low-low, playing with the po-po. When you're with the crew, you're never gonna roll solo. There goes the neighborhood, here come the Provos. Trying to give the world back its mojo. The people with no hope need to go loco. Here come the Provos to fuck up the whole show.
This is a Provo thing.
In the previous chapters, we delved into the rise of the Provos and their attacks on the state through their underground publications and their public happenings. But I think it's time to get into some of their actual physical plans to change society. The white plans.
The white bicycle was one of the most practical plans for reform. White bicycles freely available to anyone wanting to use them.
So this white bicycle became very quick an image for Provo. Bike is something, but nearly nothing. It's so simple.
On the night of July 27th, 1966, in the midst of the second summer of Provo, two young scoundrels, Olaf Stoop and Dick Rosenboom, were arrested on the streets of Amsterdam for sticking up a number of provocaties. Posters carrying Provo messages that sometimes aren't stuck on the wall too well. This wasn't an unusual scene. Part of being a Provo was dealing with constant arrests. But these provocaties were advertising a happening that would change Amsterdam forever and capture the imagination of the world.
Amsterdammers! The asphalt terror of the motorized bourgeoisie has lasted long enough. Human sacrifices are made daily to this latest idol of the idiots, car power. Choking carbon monoxide is its incense. Its image contaminates thousands of canals and streets. Provo's bicycle plan will liberate us from the car monster. The white bicycle is never locked. The white bicycle is the first free communal transport. The white bicycle is a provocation against capitalist private property, for the white bicycle is anarchistic. The white bicycle can be used by anyone who needs it and then must be left for someone else. There will be more and more white bicycles until everyone can use white transport and the car peril is past. The white bicycle is a symbol of simplicity and cleanliness in contrast to the vanity and foulness of the authoritarian car. In other words, a bicycle is something, but a bicycle is almost nothing.
At 3 o'clock on the following day, there was to be a happening on the Spou. And everybody, the citizens and the media, were all invited to show up. So a crowd of a couple of hundred came down to witness the white bike happening. You can see me in the streets when I'm feeling sweet. I'm on my nice white bike, overtaking the man in the car and the van, for the city, for the planet, but the city wanna ban it. You can see me in the streets when I'm feeling sweet. I'm on my nice white bike, and I don't mind if the oil price rise. I smile eye to eye as I cycle by. Hey, I think it's time you meet my man. He's the creator of the white bike plan, returning the center to elegant splendor, the environmental defender, inventor, Lud motherfucking Schemmelpenning, the industrial designer of the Provo movement and the architect of the white bike plan, was a man ahead of his time. Because he wasn't stuck in traffic, because he was on a bike. Pretty simple, right? Well, simplicity was key to defeating the squeal of the automobile, because a bicycle is something, but almost nothing. You can see me in the streets when I'm feeling sweet. I'm on my nice white bike, overtaking the man in the car and the van, for the city, for the planet, but the city wanna ban it. And down at the Spow, the Provos unveiled their latest plans to save the soul of their city and to save the lives of those killed by the automobiles, whom they branded the victims of the asphalt terror. It was as simple as it was revolutionary. Not a provocazzi right there, man. The Provos would begin by painting 50 bicycles white, a colour which symbolised it was free to use. Any citizen could pick up the bike and cycle to wherever they wanted and leave it there. The next person would see the white colour and know it was free to use, thus cutting down on the need for cars and freeing up the streets of polluting traffic. They believed the streets were for living, not exclusively for facilitating the transportation of goods to oil the capitalist machine. Why should the city residents live in fear of a 2-ton machine when they could float about for free, safely and healthily on their bikes? They intended to introduce 20,000 new white bikes every year to eventually eliminate the need for 99% of cars. They were going to introduce it on the Spow. This was a peaceful action that did not warrant any police action. And so, in came the police again, acting the absolute bollocks. The first 50 bikes were confiscated as the cops said that unlocked bikes were illegal as they encouraged theft. So the Provos responded by giving all of the bikes identical locks, and they were going to give everybody the same key, like a common key. The bicycle painting continued every week, but the police couldn't handle the crack. Anybody obstructing traffic at these happenings would be arrested, even though the white bike plan, the whole point of it was to reduce traffic. Nobody has ever accused the police of being independent thinkers. The police exist only to protect the status quo, which in this case was the capitalist system. So it's no wonder that they would respond to a peaceful attack on capitalism with violent repression. But two can play at that game. Later, a Provo took revenge by stealing a police bicycle from the station and painting it white. Up the fucking Provos. The Provos were faced with a choice. They could continue to push for their white plans from outside the mainstream while getting battered by the batons of the state, or they could join the political class and use the law to implement their plans. And so they decided to run in the city elections. Many of the more anarchistic Provos were against their participations in the elections, but Roel van Down, the anarchist who actually founded the movement, he was in favour, saying they needed to be more pragmatic if they were going to force any change in the city. So Provo may have been joining the mainstream to an extent, but if you've learned anything about Provo by now, you'll know that they were going to make an absolute mockery of the entire affair. And so they hit the campaign trail with their list of demands, and they brought it to the old city hall. White was the colour of Provo as it symbolised purity and simplicity, and so they named their plans the White Plans, as they were all pretty simple and pure. First on the list was the White Bike Plan. Their other plans included the White Chimney Plan, which would reduce pollution in people's homes, the White Chicken Plan, which would turn the police from agents of violence into social workers to help the public, the White City Plan, which would turn Amsterdam into a utopia called New Babylon,
The housing crisis will be tackled with the White Dwelling Plan, in which the City Hall would release the addresses of vacant buildings every week to be squatted. The White House Plan, which would turn the Royal Palace into the new City Hall for the people. And amongst the most revolutionary was the White Wives Plan, a forerunner to female emancipation developed by the legendary feminist Irene von der Vetering. It's a whole lot of plans, and we're going to discuss all the shizzle in the coming chapters. So let's get back to the topic at hand. And oh, wait a minute. Who is this sexy bastard here?
After a ludicrous campaign, the Provos won a seat on the city council, and the man who was going to lead the political party was a hot young thing named Bernard de Vries, an absolute ride of a man.
The man on the bicycle is Bernard de Vries, who was elected to the town council with 13,000 votes on slogans like "Vote Provo, you'll laugh your head off." Attending council meetings by bike is one way in which de Vries goes on poking fun at pompous city fathers.
Lud Schimmelpenninck laid out his entire vision of the White Bikes plan in Provo magazine #2. And although it was lauded by the great and the good, if it doesn't make money for somebody, then the grinding forces of capitalism ensured that it would have to be crushed into the dust and the dirt. However, the White Bicycle Plan, it made international news, and the legend of Provos spread throughout the asphalt jungles of the Western world, and it inspired the coming generations to fight back against the madness of the gods of traffic. White Bicycle Plan, Provo #2.
Cycle, hop on your bike and fucking cycle. Just hop on your bike and fucking cycle. Get those delicious endorphins created when you hop up on a bicycle.
Het is niet meer uit te houden met al deze auto's. Er is geen ruimte meer. Er sterven duizenden mensen door de ongelukken. Er komt veel meer luchtvervuiling door. Alles wordt besteed aan parkeerterrein. Waarom neemt iedereen geen fiets?
Today, people may take the bicycle infrastructure of the Netherlands for granted, saying that it might work there, but it definitely wouldn't work in their own cities. But you have to keep in mind that it was a hard-fought battle, and only because of the fortitude of multitudes of cool dudes and dudettes did the authorities eventually give in to campaigners and begin turning Amsterdam into the cyclist paradise of today.
You can see me in the streets when I'm feeling sweet. I'm on my nice white bike, overtaking the man in the car and the van. For the city, for the planet, but the city wanna ban it. You can see me in the streets when I'm feeling sweet. I'm on my nice white bike, and I don't mind if the oil price rise. I smile eye to eye as I cycle by.
Alright, okay, I get it. You're still not convinced. You like your car and you hate exercise, and that is fair enough. But we can still do something about traffic and the fumes of the automobile. As a consolation prize to the lazy lumps of the world, Lud the inventor also devised a revolutionary car-sharing service called the White Car Plan, in which regular Johnny Public could just sign up to a car-sharing plan, picking up the electrical-powered cars in the city and dropping them off at a different depot, the first of its kind on Earth. The next time you see that right-wing edgelord shitebag Elon Musk talking shit about how he only wants to change the world for the better, remember that the world's richest cunt is only in it for the profit, and actual legends like Lud the inventor were here 50 years ago with the same plans, minus the profit.
If there's anything we can learn from the White Bike Plan, it's that anyone can make a difference. You just gotta, be like the Provos and fight for what's right. You may not win today or tomorrow, but if you keep it up, eventually the world will wake up to the ultimate truths. And as oil prices rise across the globe, why not plug yourself out of the grid? Like every single journey taken on a bicycle is money directly taken out of the pocket of cunts like Putin or that desert warlord Bin Salman. Just keep in mind that cars run on money and make you fat, while bicycles run on fat and save you money. And remember that a bike is something, but almost nothing. Ein fiets is iets, maar bijna niets. Catch you later.